Hi ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. Today is the 7th of June and I'm absolutely feeling fantastic. So let's take a look at the crypto markets. As you can see here, the current combined market cap stands still just over $1.218 trillion. 24 hours volumes, a little bit higher, but still just under $80 billion. BTC dominance at 46.3, ETH dominance at 17.5, and the gas fees are at reasonable level of 39 GUI. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin yet again is at just around $29,600. As you can see, it's actually down 5.67% on a daily time frame, last 24 hours, and it's up, it's down again 6.31% on the last 7 days. However, when we look at the other coins like Ethereum, BNB, Cardano, we can absolutely see that they're starting to really bleed against Bitcoin. What is the Relative Strength Index? The Relative Strength Index, RSI, is a momentum indicator used in technical analysis that measures the magnitude of recent price changes to evaluate overbought or oversold conditions in the price of a stock or other asset. The RSI is displayed as an oscillator, a line graph that moves between two extremes and can have a reading from 0 to 100. Traditional interpretation and usage of the RSI are that values of 70 and above indicate that security is becoming overbought or overvalued and may be primed for a trend reversal or correction, pullback in price. An RSI reading of 30 or below indicates an oversold or undervalued condition. So basically, in the plain language, that means if the RSI value of any asset goes above 70, it's most likely a good time to sell. And if the RSI value goes below 30, it's most likely a good time to buy. Okay, let's go to TradingView now and let's have a look at the weekly time frame. Okay, so as you can see, last week it was the first week in 10 weeks, first green week in 10 weeks. Okay, it was a very interesting week because we basically started around 29,000, went to as high as almost 33, to come down to basically the same level. So when you actually look at that on a daily time frame, we are still going sideways. We are absolutely still going sideways. We had this really nice move yesterday, ranging from 29.6. We went up to over 31.7, and we immediately came down basically to 29,000 again. So what's going to happen? Are we going to go up or down in the short term, or are we going to continue going sideways? I don't know, but let's have a look at the RSI. So basically, let's go back to the weekly time frame and let's look at RSI Index, which is basically here. Okay, just to remind you, okay, from RSI point of view, if the asset goes above 70, which is basically above this line here, the asset is overbought and it's probably most likely good time to sell. If our asset goes below this line here, below 30, okay, most likely it's a good time to buy. And when we actually zoom out and look at the history of Bitcoin, last couple of cycles, okay, something really interesting emerges. Okay, when you look at all of the peaks from as early as 2013, you see this peak here. RSI went absolutely off the roof, went to like 100. Was the same in this peak here in December 2013. Okay, then we had this really low here, and as you can see, RSI went down to pretty much 31 and then went down as low as 30 level. Then we had those couple of peaks here. RSI went over 70, over 70 here, over 70, 70. So this basically shows you that RSI can be over 70. Okay, it was basically going up and down, up and down, up and down. It can be over 70, but that doesn't absolutely mean that this is a market top. However, when we look at the market top here, December 2017, the RSI was actually on the top as well. That's really interesting. And when we actually look at this bottom here, okay, the RSI bottomed as well. Okay, so there's only few times in Bitcoin history that RSI went that low. Okay, so this blue line here, blue horizontal line here that I put actually around like 40 level, because from a normal asset point of view, you know, RSI should be under 30 in order to be oversold. But I think in terms of Bitcoin, we actually very rarely go that low. When you look at, you know, the basically March 2020 crash and all of that, and just recently we went actually quite low. Okay, so, but if you actually look at that, what's really interesting, you know, the history of Bitcoin, if it goes most likely above 70 or 80, it's actually a very good time to sell. Okay, let's mark it even at 80. So if we're gonna go to around 80 level, there you go. That means anything above that, it's probably a good time to sell. There you go. You see basically April, May 2021, the last peak here, and those peaks there. And when it goes below this line, which is below 40, it's probably a very good time to buy Bitcoin. Okay, so if you look at the last, basically going back to 20, even 15, we only had really 3 opportunities when Bitcoin went below 40. And that was in November 2018, March 2020, and just now. Another interesting thing that I want to point out to you, when you actually look at the peaks and the peaks of RSI and the peaks of the market top, the last couple of times, it happened at the same time. So you can see here, even the small peak here, it was at the same time. The bottom was at the same time. Even if we go further back, it was at the same time. It was at the same time. However, the 2021 was quite different, because when you look at the peak here, we went to basically 96. And that was the time when everything, the crypto was going absolutely crazy. You know, Elon Musk was tweeting every second day and all of that. You know, there was loads of retail people coming into this asset class. However, when you look at that, we had a small peak here, but that was only January 2021. Okay, and it wasn't up for another 98 days. Okay, oh, just over 3 months before the Bitcoin reached actually its all-time high at the time. So what I'm thinking, okay, so that was 3 months, okay. So what I'm thinking now, okay, we have reached this level of RSI, which would absolutely indicate oversold and a good time and maybe market bottom, okay. As you remember from the last videos, that might indicate that it's a good time to buy. However, because from RSI peaking here in early January 2021 to the market top was 3 months, I'm thinking, what if from this point here we're gonna get 3 months, which is going to take us to around basically here, to around here. end of August, beginning of September, which would absolutely put us just in line with this potential bottom box that I have put here. That's really, really interesting, you know. So no one knows what the future brings, but that's actually something to consider. What do you think, you know? Do you like this idea? Do you dislike this idea? If you have any other comments, please let me know in the comment section below. If you like the channel, if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and share. You know, thank you. Have a nice day. See you again.